All right, so let's talk about 5 mindsets that are keeping musicians broke. Number 1 is the fear of charging what you're actually worth. Now, you might be saying that, hey, I can't get gigs unless I'm willing to play for whatever is being offered to me. And when you first start out, there's some truth to that for sure. But if you have any amount of experience as a teacher, as a performing musician, as a side musician, solo acoustic musician, whatever the case may be, it's time, I think, to reevaluate what you're charging. And if you are even charging anything, if you're just waiting for people to offer you prices, you might be missing out on more money and better gigs. So here's something that happens once you start establishing a rate card for certain things like private events, weddings, corporate gigs, that sort of thing. You actually start attracting those gigs. When you get an email or an inquiry about whether or not you can play, and you say, hey, listen, if you want me to play for an hour, it's $1,000. Let's just use that as a round number. That's going to do something. It's going to weed out people who maybe that's not in their budget, yes. Maybe they're thinking, oh, I'm not interested in spending that kind of money on live music. But what it will also do is it will indicate to you the right clients. When you find those people, and you will find those people who say, yeah, you're worth that, let's go. That's the world you want to live in, and that's the world you kind of want to shoot for if you're looking to charge more for your gigs. Okay, mindset number 2 that's keeping musicians broke, and this is kind of a difficult one: passion projects and ego boosting gigs. There are times where these things are appropriate. For example, if you get the opportunity to open for a national act in a really great venue and there's no pay, or it's very little pay, might be worth taking it, because, you know, I hate the idea of playing for exposure, but if you're opening for somebody who's playing a 3,000 or 4,000 seat house and you get 25 to 30 minutes on their stage, that can be worth quite a bit for your future and maybe future gigs. Now, the things to avoid are the passion projects that are going to take up a ton of your time. If you're putting in 25, 30 hours on a band or a project that has no prospect to make you any money, it's not all about the money, but sometimes it is about the money, especially if you're trying to make a living doing this. So you kind of have to reevaluate things you might be very passionate about, but they're going to take up time from opportunities and projects that otherwise would make you money that allow you to live. Now, here's where this can change. Once you get some passive income going, once you get charging more for your gigs, that's where you allow yourself time for these passion projects. If you want to know more about how I've put together passive income for myself, or just alternative income that can happen during the day on my own terms, check out the link below. I've got a free course available to help you with that. More on that later. All right, mindset number 3. This is one of my favorites because we all struggle with it really, really, really badly. It's the gear will set me free mentality. If I could just afford this new mixing board, if I could just afford this new guitar, this new pedal, this new plugin, whatever it is, then I could write a great song, then I could get a really great gig, then I could, do whatever it is that I really want to do as a musician. This is a fallacy. It doesn't exist. Stop doing it. That's not to say you shouldn't buy gear or you shouldn't reward yourself if you do really well, or anything along those lines. But what I would advise you to do is, if you're going to try to do something, if you got a project, a song, a gig, whatever, try to do it with what you already own. I bet you that you could probably get pretty close. And what doing that does, not only does it save you money, but it also forces you to be resourceful and creative with the tools that you already own, which is awesome, because I've come up with some of the best things I've ever done with things I've already owned. And then once it comes time to actually buy something, you have a better idea of what you need or what would actually benefit you, because you've gone through everything you already own and pushed it to its limit. All right, mindset number 4 that keeps musicians broke is the lone wolf mentality. And this is an issue that I think comes from, it's probably worse with like lead singers, lead guitar players, that kind of thing. I'm gonna do everything myself, bad idea. There are times to be self-sufficient, self-contained. There are times to do your own mixing and mastering and marketing, social media, editing, that kind of thing. But there are also other times to where you do need to defer to other professionals and investing some money with them would be a really, really good idea. I've faced this myself where it's like, you've got to know your limitations. And while maybe I could make a logo, there's probably somebody out there who could do it better than me. Yes, I'd have to pay them, but I might get a product that's going to just improve my brand. Now, the other thing, it's not just financial with the lone wolf mentality, is being collaborative with people allows you to learn. Now, they might be your competition. You might view them as such, but the world is big. There's a lot of space out there. And I found this in my own journey on YouTube, making videos, is, people who are maybe my direct competition have been some of the most valuable resources that have ever presented themselves to me. So I have to say, don't be afraid to work together with your friends, other musicians, even people who might be your competition. And also, when it comes time, and it'll be obvious when it's time for this, don't be afraid to hire certain things out. All right, fifth and final mindset that keeps musicians broke. And this is the obsession with only trading your time for money. Now, this is where you're gonna have to break out of your comfort zone. If you're comfortable just playing gigs and teaching lessons in a traditional way, you're not gonna get away from only trading your time for money. But if you're willing to learn some new skills, if you're willing to branch out a little bit, the opportunities, especially on the internet, especially on YouTube, are endless to create some alternative passive income, some ways that you can be making money while you're not actually committing time to whatever it is you're making money doing. So if you're interested in doing this, specifically on YouTube, I have courses available. You can work with me one-on-one. I have done this for myself. My life as a musician before centered around playing gigs, playing the best gigs I could get. If you go back to number one, I was really maximizing what I could charge for gigs. And it was awesome. It brought me to a new level. But I quickly realized that there's still only 24 hours in a day. There's still only 7 days in a week. And I can only really make money if I'm playing gigs. Now, I tried to do booking for other people. And while that's fine, it's not passive. It requires a lot of input and time and attention to do it right. So that's not to say that YouTube is passive. It's not. But you do have the opportunity to put some work in, make some money. If you're a teacher, you can teach groups, you can sell courses, lessons that can be happening while you're not actually doing them. So again, if you're interested in doing that, check out the link below. There's a free mini course to get you started, and a crash course if you want to spend 20 minutes where I teach you everything that I've learned so far doing this for myself, for Premier Guitar, for my podcasts. And then if you really want to go hard, we've got the masterclass and one-on-one coaching as well. So 5 mindsets that I think are really common amongst creatives, specifically musicians, that are keeping us broke. I have suffered from all 5 of them. I'm still working on getting myself away from, all 5 of them in some way, shape, or form. Let me know in a comment below if this was helpful. Hit the like button and subscribe for more.